Inyan Isiam DCE in the grips of the police for ordering his men in Rambo style to deal several slaps to a police officer and freeing a suspect in custody.
The DCE started slapping him and he pushed him against the charge of his counter, after which the DCE ordered the removal of the suspect from the counter bag. The DCE is under arrest.
We're live on the grounds as the Central Regional Police interrogates the District Chief Executive. And top story is brought to you by Balakwa Mineral Water and Gassam Cement, the nation builder. My name is Ernest Manu. Tonight, the Central Region Police Command has arrested the District Chief Executive for Ejumaku Enyan Esiam, Ransford Kwesi Nyakon, for assaulting a police officer. Now, in the process, he also freed a suspect who was in police custody. The Ejumaku DCE is alleged to have driven to the police station in the company of some men and subjected the officer on duty to several slaps and ordered his men to further assault him. The Regional Police Command says they will ensure that the police officer gets justice. Let's listen to DSP Arinopon, who speaks for the Central Region Police Command.
On the 2nd of December 2020, Corporal Frank Mensah was on duty at the Ocheso Police Station Charge Office. And around 9:30 in the evening, a complainant by name Sophia went to the charge office to make a complaint that one Cosmos has assaulted her grandson. The police officer accompanied the complainant and he effected an arrest. The suspect was kept at the counter back at the police station whilst the police officer was taking statements from the parties involved. According to the police officer, he had a call from one Bob who wanted to speak to him, and the phone was brought by another person. On the phone, the said Bob was insulting him, and according to the policeman, it was so irritating that he handed over the phone back to the person who brought it. Some few minutes later, he saw a motorbike, two vehicles, including the vehicle of the DCE for Ejumaku Esiem, in the person of Mr. Ransford Kwesi, who together came with other people to the charge office, and the DCE started slapping him and he pushed him against the charge office counter. He also ordered the persons following him to assault the police officer, after which the DCE ordered the removal of the suspect from the counter bag, and he went with him in his car. The police officer went to the divisional headquarters to make a complaint, and the case is under investigation. Today, 14th December 2020, the DCE has reported at the regional headquarters where the case has been transferred for it to be investigated, and he is under arrest. He is being investigated for assault on a public officer.
That's the SPI in Opon. She speaks for the Central Region Police Command. Let's go into the phone lines now. Richard Kojanyako is our Central Region correspondent. He joins me with more on this. Richard, we had Irene Opon tell us that he's been charged with assault of a police officer, but do we know where he is at the moment?
Ransford Kwesi Nyakon is in the custody of the Regional Police Command. He came this afternoon around 2 p.m. and then is being questioned by the CID personnel at the Regional Police Headquarters. For now, what we do not know is that whether he's going to be detained or not. But we understand that they are also after the people that were with the DC when they went to the police station to assault the police officer there.
So we know that he went there with some men. How many of them?
We are told by the police that they numbered about 8. They came in 2 cars, the car of the DCE and another vehicle.
So 8 men coming to the police station with the DCE, but specifically at which police station did this happen?
Also, it happened at the Ochesu police station at Jumakon. Currently, the said police officer, the victim now, is not in good condition. I saw him. His waist has been bandaged, his chest has been bandaged, and his head has also been bandaged. We are told by the police that he is undergoing some medical attention, and they are hoping that he will pull through.
And we are working the lines to get the police for some more detail on this. But Kojo, was he the only one on duty at the time?
Yes, so he was in charge of the police station at that particular point in time. We were also told that there were some community police assistants there who were also with him. So he was a superior at that point. And these community police persons are the witnesses in this very case.
We know that he was slapped by the men who came to the police station with a DCE, but give us some more detail on the form of attack that was meted out to him.
So we are not told of the number of slaps the policeman received from the DCE, but after the slaps, we are also told that the DCE ordered the men, the 7 others, to subject the policeman to some beatings. As to how the beatings went on, we are unable to physically or aptly describe the kind of beatings that went on. But if you look at how the waist of the policeman has been bandaged, the chest has been bandaged, and the head has been bandaged, it tells you how the things went on. We are unable to explain vividly because we were not there.
What do we know about this suspect who was released by the police on the instructions of the DCE?
This suspect is an 18-year-old, the grandson of the complainant. And so the grandmother went to the police station to complain that the person the DCE took out of the police custody went to assault him. We do not know what, necessitated or what provoked the man to assault the man. But all that we know is that he went to assault the man. And so there was a complaint of an assault at the police station. The police issued a medical form to the victim. Then they went to the hospital, and then the form was endorsed. They came back and they proceeded to arrest this suspect that has currently been taken out of the police custody.
And Richard, do we know how this suspect is connected to the DCE?
Well, to the extent that a call came, we cannot really establish the identity of the person who placed the call and held the insult at the policeman. But to the effect that the DCE could drive in the company of some people to come to the police station, subject the policeman to some beatings, and then further take the person out of the police custody, then it establishes some kind of relationship between that particular suspect and the DCE.
Now, this DCE, I know personally, and I'm quite surprised at what has happened. Tell us about what has happened. Tell us about this DCE and the kind of person he is.
Well, so Ransford Kwesinyako has been the DCE for the Jumakwe Siam district. They just ended term of them, but he's still the current DCE. He ran on the ticket of the NPP in that particular constituency in 2012 until he lost the parliamentary primaries to Rashid Kwesi Tiafo. He is a calm. When you meet him, you would conclude that this man cannot catch a fly. So it also surprises me why this thing has happened.
And there's no record of him, any record of him engaging in any form of violence, any form of attack in the district since he emerged?
Not that I know of, and we have not also been told by the police that there have been incidents like that involving this DC. In fact, I have been working my sources within the district to find out whether he is of that aggressive nature. But all the calls that I made, I mean, they didn't point to the fact that this man is that kind of boisterous or aggressive in nature.
How are the police in the region reacting to this?
Well, so the Regional Police Command has sent a notice to the policemen that are working in the central region, especially those who are working in the hinterlands, that if they are abused like that, they should not hesitate to report the matter to the police so that these matters would be thoroughly investigated, because they do not want their officers to be abused like how this Frank policeman has been abused in that manner. And so they say that they are going to ensure that there is justice for Frank. Whatever it is, they are going to make sure that justice works in the case of Frank.
Richard, hold the line for me. We're joined by the Central Regional Minister, Kwame Duncan. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on Top Story. I'm wondering what briefing you have received on this incident. Hello, Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us here on Top Story. We're receiving reports of an assault that has happened in the central region at the Ejumako Inyan Isiam constituency or district, and this involves a DCE, Ransford Kwesinyan, who assaulted a police officer and ordered some men, 8 of them we are told, to also assault him and release a suspect. What is the briefing you have received on this?
Good evening to your first, condemn this without reservation. But if you had police, PRO, DSP, in all the
Mr. Kwame Duncan, I think you have to reposition yourself. We are getting some breaks in the connection there to you. If you can just reposition yourself slightly, I'm sure we can have a better connection so we can hear you clearly.
Is it better?
I still think that we need to. We'll check the line. My producer would have to check the line and call you back. Richard Kojunyako is still with me on the line. Richard, tell us about the officer. Which hospital has been admitted? Hello, Richard. Well, we don't have Richard Kojunyako on the line, but the Central Regional Minister is back on the line, and we'll speak to him. Thank you very much, sir. You were saying that you condemned this in no uncertain terms.
Yes, I said that this assault about victims. And is the line better?
It's still terrible. I think that would have to fix it. My producers will fix the line.
I have 10. Is it okay?
Yes, please proceed.
It's okay now.
Yes, please.
Yes, but as I was saying, you were following closely what the was saying. Continue to do according to the policeman. According to the policeman. So this is where it is the word of the policeman against that of the. But this incident came to my attention about 1 hour or 2 weeks ago, and as soon as it came to my attention, I got the police commander and he himself to do a conference and for him to respond to this matter, which is a very grave one. It's because he had the security council of the district, so that if there was anybody who was going to be involved in a matter of nature, then it was not to be him. So we did the conference call. Clearly, what came out was that he did not provide leadership, because from the narrative that he told myself and then the commander, that there was some altercation between the party chairman and policeman on both, And he spoke to this policeman on phone. And the policeman backed him. Said, who are you? Who are you? So he decided to drive all the way to the police station, accompanied by with some others. And so I drove to the police station for what? Because you could have taken this matter if he had shown disrespect or misconduct or so on whilst you spoke to him. You could have taken the matter up with the district police commander. So why did you have to drive this police station to confront the policeman? So he drove to the police station, he met the policeman, he found out from him why he's doing the way he did on phone. And then after that, he left. And then left others who are putting him behind. And so, by what he does, that it is when he had left that those left behind decided to do what they did. That is why I pointed out to him that, Mr. DCE, you failed in this endeavor. First, it was not for you to have driven to the police station. If you felt that the conduct of the policeman was not proper, could have taken the matter up with the police commander. And secondly, you went there to the police station accompanied by others. You went there, confronted this policeman, and then you created a vacuum. And so, are you able, or were you able to control what these people who accompanied you to the police station, what they were able to do? So that is where that happened. And by the procedure, nobody is above the law. So whatever happened, it is the duty of the police to investigate and made up a case if there's one. So the police invited him, and here he was invited to come to the regional police command to write his statement. And so today, he came to the command and wrote his statement, and he has been granted bail. And so the investigation is continuing. But as I said, it is his word, the DCE's word, against the policeman who was assaulted. It is in between the two that the police will be able to come up with the truth. So as far as my briefing is concerned, this is where we are.
Mr. Duncan, did he tell you why the suspect is of particular interest to him?
Well, in our conference call, myself, the police commander, and the DCE, we were so worried that he took even that first step. We asked him why he went there and why the suspect was possibly taken out of custody, because it happened between him. So he was not able to speak to that, because all of that happened after he had driven off, after he had left the place. And so more or less, like he left the pack and created opportunity for them to do what they did. And so we were not able to ask what was the reason why he drove there with the people and took the vacuum to even take the suspect out of the custody. But clearly, you listen to the entire narrative, the DC failed to provide leadership. So on this myself and the commander with him, I told him that you created a vacuum. It was completely necessary for you to have done what you did. And so I encourage that the police go through the full hall of investigating to establish where the culpability is, and then we can take it from there.
A name has come up, Bob, and I'm told he is a chairman in the region. I don't know if you know this guy.
No, he's not a regional chairman. He's the constituency chairman.
And we're told that he was actually involved in this. I'm wondering if you've been able to speak to him.
Yes, that's why I told you that initially it was this conversation between the party chairman and the policeman, which was then passed on to the DCE. When the chairman was speaking to the policeman, the DCE could see that the chairman was agitated on foot. And so the DCE found out what was happening. And the chairman said that this man was not here. So then the DCE took the phone and spoke to the policeman. The policeman, more or less by the DCE's narrative, misconducted himself, and which made them drive, that is himself, the party chairman, and others, drive all the place. And when he went there to now meet the policeman, by what he decided to leave and leave the chairman and the others behind.
Mr. Duncan, what is the assurance you can give us that this case will not die like some other cases, and indeed that justice will be delivered?
But if you heard me all throughout, I said right away, he did not provide leadership. And I asked the police that, please go on with your investigation. And so I was the one who would want to kill them smart. They don't want to see justice. I'll probably be talking to the commander that, commander, is there a way to deal with this matter without necessarily taking it through the due process? I said, no. He failed to provide leadership that gave the opportunity for those who accompanied him to do what they did. And therefore, nobody is above the law. Everybody must be made to face the consequences of their action. That is why today, the police invited him to the command. So the command has now taken over the matter. And that's why he said to come to the command to write his statement.
Because he's a DCE and he reports to you, I'm wondering if there will be any administrative sanction or action taken whilst the police investigate the matter.
Well, it doesn't lie in the power of the minister to sanction whether administrative or political. But when all of it is done and the police have done their investigation and have the report, I will forward it to the appointing authority here, the president, and copy the minister for local government.
In the event that he is detained and we don't know for how long, what happens at the district?
He has not been detained.
He hasn't been.
Statement and granted police inquiry bail.
Okay, he's been granted bail now.
That's right.
Very well, sir. I want to thank you for your time, and that's the Central Regional Minister, Kwame Duncan, speaking to us here on Top Story. Richard Kojonyako is back on the line. Richard, you have some update for us on this particular case.
Well, so what I'm picking out is that the police personnel in the region are not really happy with what has transpired and how their colleagues has been dealt with. They tell me that most of the time when there are cases of this nature and then there is an arrest involving some political bigwigs and the other things, these are some of the things that do happen. Someone places a call and then they do command them. So when they resist, they are assaulted and all of that. They want such practices to come to an end using this case as the reference point. And so that is what they are telling me. I've been interacting with a number of the police personnel in the region, and that is what they seem agitated and they seem very angry at what has happened, and they want justice for their colleagues.
Richard, thank you very much. And that's our correspondent in the Central Region, Richard Kojonyako, bringing us an update. In case you're just joining us, the story is that the Ejumako Enyan Esiam DCE assaulted a police officer today, ordered his men in Rambo style to deal with a police officer on duty at Ochiso in the Central Region, and then went ahead to free a suspect who was in custody. We heard that from the Central Regional Minister, who says that action will be taken and that justice will be delivered. That's it for Top Story, brought to you by Belacqua Mineral Water and Gasem Cement, the nation builder. News Night is up next after this break.